this genocide, this assault is so aggressive that it is getting through that wall of propaganda put forward by the mainstream media. I'm not saying it gets through all the time, but it's getting through some of the time. And here's an example from CNN just the other day. Caitlin Collins, who, if you know who she is, does wonderful work manufacturing consent for war and death and destruction around the world. So it's not like this is some unique lefty peacenik voice on CNN. No, this is a standard CNN war hawk shill, and yet here you go.
Tonight, CNN has learned that former Hamas hostages had a contentious meeting with Israeli officials today. One of them telling the Israeli security cabinet, quote, "What I see on TV scares me a lot. I see Israeli bombings there, and you have no idea where the captives are. I was in a house surrounded by explosions. We slept in the tunnels, and we feared not Hamas, but that Israel might kill us, and then it would have been Hamas killed you." Tonight, CNN has learned that
So this is also saying something important about the hostage situation. Hamas, it seems, has largely, and I'm not one of these people who's just a full-on apologist and going to say it's fine to take hostages because they're treating them all right. But if you look at the propaganda, we've been told, oh, they just, they torture them and it's all just rape and horror show. In fact, it seems like Hamas, which this would make sense for their political ends, has been treating the hostages as well as they're able to without, access to a lot of things. And many of those who have been released have said that they endorsed a ceasefire. Maybe even almost all of those who've released have endorsed a ceasefire. But this is talking about a meeting where these are hostages that spent a month or 2 months. You said there was no sound on that clip. Could anybody else hear it? The clip? Anyway, let me know whether you heard the clip. I was going to replay it, so it was silent for everyone? That's weird. I mean, it is a low volume clip, but let's try it one more time. Maybe I'll hold my mic up to it and I'll try that. See if that works any better.
Tonight, CNN has learned that former Hamas hostages had a contentious meeting with Israeli officials today. One of them telling the Israeli security cabinet, quote, "What I see on TV scares me a lot. I see Israeli bombings there, and you have no idea where the captives are. I was in a house surrounded by explosions. We slept in the tunnels, and we feared not Hamas, but that Israel might kill us, and then it would have been Hamas killed you."
So, again, yeah, the low volume is just in the clip. Sorry. But it seems Hamas has treated them as best they can. And those who've been released want a ceasefire because guess what? The only way those hostages are going to live is by a ceasefire because Israel's bombing so aggressively that they are killing hostages. And it seems if they continue at this rate, they will kill all the hostages. Not because Hamas chose to kill them, but because Israel's bombing the shit out of them. So you have these hostages being released to Israel and then going and meeting with Netanyahu and saying, for the love of God, stop bombing. But as I brought to you many times, Israel has a directive called the Hannibal Directive where if someone's taken hostage, they kill everyone. They kill the hostages. They kill the people around them. They don't care. That is their plan and that's their goal and that's what they're doing. You can look it up if you want. Now, they won't say that publicly, but it's very clear that that's what's going on. And that's what they did on October 7th. And, I continue to read about what happened on October 7th. I continue to try and cobble together all the information I can that is not the propaganda that you've heard on the mainstream. And, it's undeniable that Hamas knocked down the border and ran in and took hostages. But there's increasing evidence that the IDF just killed so many people. Yes, they killed Hamas fighters. They also killed just about anyone who was nearby. And that is why, and I brought this to you as well a few days ago, that is why the Israel has said that they are taking the cars that were burned and everything, and they're shredding. Yes, shredding cars. I don't know what that shredder looks like. I assume like you have an office shredder. It's like 100 times that size, and they just put a car into it. But they're shredding the cars that were involved in October 7th and burying them somewhere where no one will know where they are. Which, I'm sorry, every time I say it, I laugh because I like the idea that like, and they say they're doing it for environmental reasons. We're shredding all the evidence. And by the way, for those of you wondering, I did look up what happened to all the, because so this is Israel shredding all the evidence of October 7th that they can, of what went down, getting rid of whatever they can. And I did look up what they did with all the millions and millions of tons of debris from 9/11. And there are a lot of places you can find that, oh, well, 22,000 or 7,000. I can't remember the number exactly, but it was a few thousand tons of debris is used for memorials and things. And they show images of the steel bars that are used in memorials in various places, many of them in New Jersey and New York, some in California, but they've been shipped around the world. And you can read all these articles about how neat, in a sad way, but how neat that these things were put into memorials and things around. But if you compare the amount of debris that was put into memorials, it's like, again, a few thousand tons. I think it might have been 7,000 tons of debris that was put into, it was just shipped around the world, kept and things. There was like over 1 million tons of debris from 9/11. So it's a tiny, tiny percentage. All the rest was processed for a landfill and like completely buried and incinerated and everything, and you could never see it again. So I'm just saying, they're carefully like, we don't really want people looking into what went down here.